Brawl Stars has a lot of great features in the game and makes constant updates to old ones while adding new and exciting features as well. With that being said, you can't argue that there's still a lot of features currently in the game that are outdated or simply not developed enough and need to be reworked and updated. In this video, I'm going to talk about a few features in the game that should be updated, and maybe talk about a few updates that I would give to these features. Feel free to drop your own suggestions or features that I missed in the comments below. I'm getting close to 15,000 subscribers, so I would really appreciate if you guys subscribe to help me closer to that milestone. Secondly, join our Discord server. We have some fun stuff to do there, like our very own 1v1 ranked called Gauntlet, where you can win Feral Ollie, and more Brawl Talk skins in the future, or just simply have fun. Finally, consider becoming a channel member if you're interested in supporting out the channel and have ample disposable income for some cool perks, like watching videos early or friending me. And with that out of the way, let's get to talking about the video. First off, to absolutely no one's surprise, let's go over Megapig. At this point, it feels like they've teased a Megapig rework at least 100 times, but it still hasn't happened. And it seriously needs to happen. Sure, it may have felt like a chore, but at least Club League rewarded us with absolute buckets of rewards, giving an insane amount of coins, power points, or just skins. And then it was replaced by Megapig, which gave 20 star drops, which seems nice, but keep in mind that this was only if your club was extremely active, and that it was more likely than not you would just get mediocre rewards and no legendary or even mythic star drops. Then take into consideration that this was every single month, and you can see how this is a feature in desperate need of a rework. However, I think reworking it is easier said than done, as you need to find a balance between the grindy nature of Club League and the low progression amounts of Megapig, so put your Megapig reworks in the comments below. Next is another big one, Mapmaker. After the time Mapmakers gave trophies so long ago, it feels like it just isn't as large of a part of the game anymore. It feels like the original intention of having cool community maps is gone now, replaced by gimmick map after gimmick map. The extra daily 30 XP it gives is simply not enough to make a difference with the recent XP inflation for the Brawl Pass. Even playing it to complete quests with high trophy brawlers isn't used as often as a reason anymore, with the new quest rework to have multiple brawlers and the trophy rework to be losing fewer trophies per game, making it so that there's not really a great reason to play Mapmaker. And don't get me started on the mess that making maps in game is. Actually, let me get started on it. At this point, it's just better to use an outside website to make maps than actually make the map in game. Making maps is unnecessarily slow and complicated and needs a big rework. To make matters even worse, the assets you have to work with are limited and confusing. Just one example is that teleporters can't be placed right next to walls for some reason. And worst of all, you literally can't choose your own environment. Fancy something other than the Wild West environment? Well, you're out of luck, because you're not allowed to choose anything other than the default environment. Let me know in the comments if I missed something, because there's probably no way I covered everything wrong with Mapmaker. But now, let's talk about the Heist game mode as a whole. With the power creep happening in the game mode recently, and with it being taken out of ranked recently, it's clear that Heist desperately needs an update. Hypercharges and broken Heist brawlers are running rampant in the game mode, and the safe health just isn't enough to combat with this power creep. Whether it's an increase to safe health, removing hypercharges from the game mode, or adding periodical shields/immunities to the safe, it's clear that something needs to be done to save Heist, and soon. If you're interested more in this topic, I did a whole video on it that you can check out after watching this one. Now, let's talk about PowerPoints. PowerPoints are boring and gray, take too long, and need gameplay in them. Wait, I think I'm talking about the wrong one. Sorry. The PowerPoints I actually am talking about are purple and are used purely for upgrading brawlers and nothing else. And this is a big problem, especially with the release of unlockables. Both PowerPoints and coins are used to upgrade brawlers, So why are coins the only ones that are actually used for buying unlockables? This often leads to a shortage of coins and an excess of power points. And this honestly has a little bit of an easy fix. Make some unlockables only purchasable by power points instead of coins. This would help balance the coin shortage and the power point abundance. Staying in a similar topic, let's talk about Mythic gears. I feel like they were just handled poorly and were more like second star powers than Mythic gears. They cost the same as star powers, give a permanent upgrade to the brawler, and they never really felt like a necessary or even wanted addition to the game. And then Supercell sort of stopped halfway in developing them, and were left with a feature in the game that no one really asked for and was never really fully finished. So what could be done with these guys? Well, one suggestion could be to rework them into being star powers, replacing some of the lesser used star powers. Another could be to just give everyone mythic gears and make everyone equal in that way. And finally, they could be simply added to the Brawlers base kit, though obviously tuned down a lot. And speaking of mythics, let's talk about mythic skins. Mythic skins are sort of the middle child of the skin rarities. They aren't available for bling like rare, super rare, and epic skins, but aren't as valuable or loved as most legendary skins. Honestly, when's the last time you've seen a Dacis Grom, an L quarterback, a Poseidon RT, or a Thief Edgar in a game? I'm not really sure what could be done to make them better, but a start could definitely be with adding custom kill effects to them. And guess what? Another transition. Let's talk about what mythic skins are in the shop. Let's be real, the shop has only 3 uses now. Daily freebies, whenever Brawl Stars gives something for free in the shop, or when some crazy discount or new skin comes out, like the Milky Hank discount or the Egg Pam skin. No one really cares about the other discounts they give out, especially with the advent of bling, and the resource offers are just for pay-to-win players. And overall, the shop is just too outdated, especially with the release of the catalog. Once again, there are some things that could be done to fix this, but one suggestion I have is to offer bling discounts inside of the shop. Bling already isn't a big moneymaker for Supercell, so they won't lose too much revenue by doing this, and it would offer an incentive for people to actually look at the shop. Next up are something else that also has to do with the shop: pins and sprays. There's a lot that needs to be done with these guys, and it feels like they have so much unused potential. First and foremost, there simply needs to be more pin and spray slots. There are hundreds of pins and sprays in the game, yet there are only 5 total slots for both of them, and this is simply unacceptable. Secondly, there's no reason for them to be in any higher than super rare star drops, and it's an extremely big letdown when you see a mythic drop and then get a spray. Supercell can fix this by adding extra pin and spray plaques like they used to, giving more chances for pins without the same feeling of disappointment, as you know exactly what you're getting, unlike with star drops. Next up is something that does not transition well with the shop: the training ground. The last time this was updated, LeBron was probably not even in the league, and that's saying something. It fulfills its purpose somewhat, but it's just very outdated and deserves a lot of updates. Some examples of updates that could be given to it are adding moving bots, a heist save, a brawl ball, robots you can heal, and so much more. Similar to this, but to a lesser extent, friendly battles could 100% use an update. For example, when using the power match feature, it only shows the final game stats instead of the entire game stats. Besides that, there are so many more fun modifiers that could be added, as well as adding removed game mode / maps from the game, like the basketball game mode and the Snake Prairie map, for example, which on an unrelated note was great for playing hide and seek. Next, let's talk about titles. Titles as a concept is great, but it could definitely be executed a bit better. This applies mainly to a lot of title names. Why does Edgar get a great title with the CEO of Brawl Stars, but Crow is stuck with Caw Caw. Many titles need a rework, and Crow is definitely where they should start. And furthermore, adding more exclusive titles for achievements, like they did with the Trophy Titan, would be a nice addition, and that ties in with my next feature. Even though the Trophy Road just got an update, I believe it's still not completely finished. It's very beginner friendly, but falls off a lot in rewards after reaching past 10k trophies. A Mythic drop every 5k and Legendary drop at 10k is just not enough for reaching those milestones, especially considering the nature of star drops, with it possibly being anywhere from a super rare skin to a legendary brawler. More tangible rewards like credits and coins could be given instead, and or exclusive Trophy Road skins, pins, or player icons. Finally, I believe finishing the Trophy Road should definitely be rewarded with an exclusive title, with the trophy requirement being moved up to 100,000. The smooth transitions are back, as the next feature that needs an update are trophy boxes. They are a great addition to the game and give more incentive for pushing trophies, but it's still not completely finished. Pushing all the way to 3,000 trophies is just not good enough for the effort, as you're most likely just gonna end up with an epic skin that you could have also gotten in the 1,000 trophy box. They could fix this by giving a guaranteed mythic skin, more gems, or just a minimum of 2 guaranteed epic skins. Also, there's no reason for token doublers to be in these drops, and they can definitely be replaced with something else like coins. Last and 100% least, putting shame to the title of this video, is the Brawl TV. This is probably a rework nobody needs and nobody asked for, but it's still true nonetheless. With the increase in popularity of streaming, the point of Brawl TV is starting to go away. Most of the time, you'll just be watching random showdown games, and unless you're extremely bored, you're not going to be watching them. Instead, there should be a high-level game from each mode that you can choose from, like Ranked, Knockout, or Showdown, for example. To incentivize more people to watch, there should be XP rewards after certain milestones of watch time. Overall, there's a lot that can be done to make Brawl TV much better, but it's probably not even a $0 problem. There's a lot of features in this game that deserve reworks and some love, and these are just some of the more egregious examples. Put down your own suggestions in the comments below, and keep in mind that this video isn't meant to hate on these features, just to point out some of the flaws with them. Well, there is one exception to that, and that's Megapig. But anyway, thanks for watching. Watch this video, or this playlist, or join the Discord server.